This is Alice Go. Well, obviously from her name, she is Chinese, right? But did you know that she once became a politician and served as a full-fledged mayor in the municipality of Bamban Tarlac, Philippines?
Mahal ko po kayo lahat!
Now that was actually okay. I mean, if she was half Filipino and half Chinese, and actually a real Filipino citizen who was born and raised in the country, then she had the right to run for government office. But here's the twist. She was not. She was not a real Filipino. She was fully Chinese.
Wait. What? What's he saying?
And was not born or raised in the country. So how did she become a mayor in the Philippines? Is she a spy sent by China to infiltrate the Philippine government? What if she had never been caught? Would she have run for a higher office like congressman, senator, or even president of the country? Is this an isolated case? Or are there still some other Chinese citizens like Alice Go already running the country as government officials? Could this be a bigger threat to the country? Well, welcome to Grand Line Media.
The arm of the law is long, and it will reach you.
Capturing a wanted fugitive. Her name is Alice Go. She's another suspected Chinese spy.
Isa lang po passport ko po, Ma'am Karen. Filipino po ako.
So she is a Filipino. At least that's what she said in every interview she had. But the problem is, her story is not consistent at all. Before we analyze her narrative about her childhood, claiming that she really grew up in the Philippines, let's first talk about how she speaks. I mean literally.
Nung tumanda na po ako, unti-unti nararamdaman ko, parang nakakahiya na hindi ka nag-aral. Tuwing may nagtatanong po sa akin, saan ka nagtapos? Saan ka nag-aral? Saan ka nag-aral?
Well, at first she might sound fluent in Tagalog, but she's actually not. Many Filipinos notice that she is not comfortable speaking Tagalog at all. If you were really born and spent your entire childhood in the Philippines, no matter your race or ethnicity, you should become fluent in speaking Tagalog, and you should sound native.
Is that correct? That's correct.
But Alice Go does not. The way she pronounces words with the letter R sounds awkward.
Saan ka nag-aral?
Now, if you're a native Mandarin speaker, the Chinese language, you will have a hard time pronouncing English words that have an R in them. That's because in Mandarin, they have a different way of pronouncing R.
The sound R is difficult even for Chinese people, and everybody in China will pronounce it differently.
In Mandarin, the R sound is more of a retroflex, produced with the tongue curled back slightly.
What is that, Chinese? I'm not Chinese.
Similarly, some speakers of Cantonese or other Chinese dialects may substitute L for R when speaking English because their native phonetic system may not distinguish between these two sounds the same way English does. This is why some Chinese learners of English might pronounce rice as lice.
Fly lice?
Fly lice. It is fry rice, you prick.
Anyway, whether you speak Cantonese or Mandarin, the point is you will have a hard time sounding native in English or even Filipino because of the letter R. Now, Alice Go cannot pronounce R properly. I mean, she can if she twists her tongue, which seems forced to me. So the way I see it, she is not a native Tagalog speaker. Instead, she's a Chinese speaker since birth. And later in her life, she learned how to speak Tagalog. I assume that she just learned it as fast as she could, which is why she still sounds awkward when she speaks Tagalog.
Oh, you're being extremely unfair.
Now, to be fair, let's stop assuming and check the facts about this woman. During one of her interviews, she said that her father is Chinese and her mother is Filipino. According to her, her father mentioned that her mother was once their family maid, and they had a secret affair, resulting in Alice Go's birth. In other words, she is half Chinese and half Filipino, and she claims that she grew up on a farm, which was their family business. I've mentioned before that she isn't consistent with her childhood stories. She claimed that she was born in the Philippines, but she can't remember exactly where.
Bakit nagkaroon ka lang ng birth certificate nung 17 years old ka? Kahit bininyagan ka ba noon?
Yun po ulit ang isasagot ko sa inyo. Hindi ko alam.
It's hard to believe someone would forget where they were born, right? I mean, at the very least, your birth certificate should indicate it.
Because she's stupid.
But Alice Go seems unaware of where she was born, despite later presenting birth records showing that she was indeed born in the Philippines, in Barangay Matatala Eve, Tarlac, on July 31, 1990. However, the Philippine government later discovered she was lying because a Chinese national named Guo Huaping matched her fingerprints, suggesting they were the same person.
She's a spy.
Not only that, but during the NBI's investigation, they found 3 individuals named Alice Liao Go, all born on July 12, 1986. One of these individuals had a different physical appearance from her, and the address of another was in Quezon City.
National Bureau of Investigation says a third Alice Go was found in their records.
When they asked the residents there, no one knew anyone by that name living in the area. Now, doesn't that sound like something a spy would do, using fake names and hiding their true identity? So how did the government realize that Alice Go was a Chinese spy? Well, it all started with Pogo, or Philippine Offshore Gaming Operators. Pogo is a business operated by Chinese nationals in the Philippines, primarily involved in online gambling, which is quite prevalent in the country. You'd be surprised how many Filipino influencers promote their online gambling.
And they are stupid idiots.
Anyway, while Pogo was technically legal in the country at one point, what they were doing was definitely illegal. If you're wondering how they got a license to operate, it's a long story, but to give you an idea, Pogos began operating in the Philippines in 2003 and have been regulated by the government since 2016 during the presidency of Rodrigo Duterte.
I will assure under my oath of office as President of this Republic, as elected by you, yung Pogo na yan, insofar kami dito, malinis yan. Malinis yan. Malinis yan.
The industry flourished, generating significant revenue for the government, but President Bongbong Marcos eventually banned Pogos in July 2024.
Effective today, all Pogos are banned.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Online gambling is just the tip of the iceberg. Pogo operations involved far more nefarious activities. Reports indicate that Pogos were engaged in human trafficking, prostitution, money laundering, tax evasion, kidnapping and extortion, illegal employment of foreigners, and other criminal activities. And Alice Go was allegedly directly involved in Pogo's illegal operations, including human trafficking, cybercrime, and online scams. Go was found to own land and properties used by Pogo hubs, with documents such as electric bills and land titles in her name linking her to these activities. Specifically, the Baofu Corporation compound in Bamban was tied to Pogo hubs involved in illegal operations. In short, she was one of the people running this illegal business in the Philippines while serving as a government official. It's quite a clever strategy if you think about it. If you want to do illegal things in the country, you first become an official so you won't get caught. Unfortunately for Alice Go, she was caught. Now clearly she is a Chinese spy. How could China send her and even make her a government official in the Philippines? Well, it is still a mystery, but if you think about it, that's how China operates. It's not uncommon to hear similar stories, saying that their country had a Chinese spy. A similar case also happened in the USA, where a woman was said to be a Chinese spy sent by China. Her name is Linda Su.
Spying for China. The first suspect is called Linda Sun.
The same with Alice Go, who remained untraceable for many years, and both were able to infiltrate government offices.
She worked for the US government for 14 years.
Now, it makes you wonder, how was China able to do that? Well, someone inside the government might be helping them. It is just a conspiracy, but just think about it. How was Alice Go able to process her documents in the country to appear legitimate? It's simple. Someone in a higher office in the Philippine government helped her. And I wouldn't be surprised if that someone is also a Chinese spy who has been working in politics for many years in the country. But there is also a possibility that a pure Filipino politician is helping China. I mean, money is hard to refuse, right? Anyway, recently, Alice Go escaped the country by sea and then hid in Indonesia. But after weeks of searching for her, she was caught and brought back to the Philippines. Now, if we use our common sense, there is clearly someone helping her do such things. Not sure if it's the Pogo boss, another Chinese spy, or their Filipino accomplice. But one thing is for sure, Alice Go is just the tip of the iceberg. China started many years ago to infiltrate every country they have an interest in. Remember, China has territorial disputes with the Philippines regarding the South China Sea. Well, it's no wonder they are infiltrating the government because they want to control it.